What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, day 2 of the invasion of Louisville, Kentucky for Louder Than Life, and we are here with Tim of the Dropkick Murphys.
Thank
you for your time today, man.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure.
It's great to have you here. First question is, how are you wearing a long sleeve shirt in this boiling hot weather?
Well, to be fair, it's 3/4 lengths, but you're right, it is pretty hot. We left the hotel this morning at about 7:30 when it was a little bit cooler. So I planned my outfit for the day based on that, which was that was stupid of me. I shouldn't have done that.
There you go. But we're all wearing black, so we're all dying.
Yeah,
together.
and we have to play in the blazing hot sun, so I might as well climatize. You know?
At least it's with Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Right. There you go. One question I have for you is, now that your latest record, 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory, is hitting the 3-year-old mark in 2020, can we be expecting some new music fairly soon?
Yes, absolutely. We have some time off after this. I'm not sure when we're constantly coming up with stuff, but then we'll sort of at some point say, all right, next week let's start going in and really hammering things out. And all of us will go in there and we'll put all the ideas on the table and start working through things. So I'm sure that'll come sooner than later. That being said, we've already got a song or two that we could play today if we wanted to. That will count as new stuff. So we'll start working on new material fairly soon, I would imagine. Yeah.
Awesome. Because I feel like the Dropkick Murphys has a real great sound that defines you guys. Do you take a new approach to every album, or is there like a formula that you kind of utilize for the making of every record?
We try not to stick too much to a formula. We try to have a pretty open mind about stuff because it's definitely a specific genre,
Yeah.
So that that could put some constraints on us if we allow it to. So because of that, we have to be sort of open-minded when we're coming up with new stuff. And these days we're not as quick to, if me or Jeff or James or somebody writes a riff that doesn't immediately strike us as like a Dropkicks thing, we can't just throw it aside, because it's entirely possible that it could turn into something else, or it could work perfectly well no matter what it sounds like.
Yeah, you never know if the song you leave out could be on like a B-side and just be the
best
hit you guys ever had.
Yeah, somebody, our front of house guy Pete, we just played with the B-52s the other day. Pete was telling me that Love Shack was a throwaway track. So I mean, look at that.
There you go.
Shipping Up to Boston almost didn't make it on the album.
Damn. One thing I'm curious.
Where would we be?
One thing I'm curious about is that one thing I've always liked about the Dropkick Murphys is you guys have a great sense of humor in your music. The first song I actually ever heard was the Christmas carol,
Oh, really?
Seasons Upon Us.
Yeah.
I've been listening to that every Christmas since I was like 11 years old or something like that. So, I mean, you guys clearly have an essence of, not taking yourself too seriously, but your music is also very technically impressive. Is there ever a moment of seriousness in order to execute your material, or is just sense of humor the key behind the Dropkick Murphys?
We're all pretty. There's moments of seriousness, sure, but we're all pretty stupid all the time, for the most part. We're just sort of sarcastic New Englanders,
There you go.
The sense of humor is present pretty much all the time. We certainly don't take ourselves seriously. I mean, we take what we do very seriously, obviously.
Yeah.
But what we do is pretty cool as far as jobs you could have, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so, it's easy to keep your sense of humor about something like this.
It's like the only industry I know where you get fired for not drinking.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But one thing I'm curious, you mentioned, you actually led me into the next question, coming from the New England region, Massachusetts, Connecticut. I know that you just played with Hatebreed a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Matt, great guy. But coming from the Massachusetts area, it's the metalcore capital of the world, some great hardcore bands. Is there a scene that the Dropkick Murphys is kind of affiliated with, or were you guys kind of going outside your hometown more to get your name out there?
It wasn't too much of a scene. I mean, there was definitely, when the Dropkick started in the early to mid 90s, there was definitely a New England sort of punk hardcore thing going on. I grew up in Hartford, Connecticut, and I used to see Hatebreed every weekend in the mid to late 90s, And so so to be out on the road with them is phenomenal. 20 years later, when I'm not a kid anymore. But I don't know that the Dropkicks started in a specific scene necessarily. They were part of that sort of, like I said, punk hardcore thing. But it definitely as I think I can say, as somebody that was a fan when the band first started, they were an outlier. You know what I mean? Musically, they were different, and there was just something different about the band. But that being said, the Boston scene is a very familial one. So.
Of course, everybody knows each other somehow.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I have 2 more questions for you, actually. We'll get the hardest question out of the way. This is my favorite question to ask every artist. How do you know when a song is done?
Like done writing it?
Yeah.
That's a tough question. Sometimes you don't, I guess. But I think it's when... I don't know. I think it's when it makes you just sort of feel something, I think if you can get to that emotional spot in people when you're writing a song, then you've done your job. There's plenty of times where you write a song and you go, yeah, that's a song. But it doesn't, so to really do it, to really know that the song is done, I think you just need to... I don't know. You just need to think outside the box and try to reach your full potential as a songwriter or musician or whatever the hell it is. And that's a tough question to answer, man.
Yeah. That's why it's my favorite question to ask. Yeah. And the final question I want to ask you is that you guys have some very, very dedicated fans. I remember, technically, I saw you the first time when you were playing at Webster Hall, and Killswitch Engage was playing right underneath you.
Okay.
So I snuck in to catch a couple songs. Sorry, Killswitch, I just had to. But when you see on how a fan relates to your music or gets really emotionally attached to an album, does that change the outlook on you have as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. One of the things that we as people in our band try to do is not to lose sight of the fact that we're the luckiest people in the world for getting to do what we do. And the fact that we have people, the fact that we can look out into the crowd any given night and see somebody singing passionately along with these songs that we've written, a lot of times they're stupid songs. I mean, like I said, we have a pretty good sense of humor about ourselves, and so we've been known to write the occasional jokey song.
Yeah.
And, to watch somebody sing those lyrics with such passion and excitement, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to not feel sort of removed from it, because it just doesn't. It's hard to sit there and go oh, I did that to that person. I can't. It doesn't feel like that. It's just as a music fan myself, just to see somebody enjoying a song like that is. Nothing's better than that.
I feel like with you guys and Guar and a lot of these bands that are very talented but also have great senses of humor, Psycho Stick, I feel like that proves that metal and rock and punk, whatever the periodic table of dark music is, proves that we're not just angry people, that we're able to have fun.
What's funny is the nicest dudes and the funniest dudes that you meet out on the road are the metal guys.
Yeah.
Like the black metal guys.
Oh my God, Nurgle is one of the nicest guys. He acts all evil on camera, but he's like, oh, thank you so much for this interview.
Those guys from Cannibal Corpse, sweethearts.
We sing songs about killing people.
But they're, phenomenal guys. So yeah.
So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today.
Of course.
Yeah. Is there just anything else you would like to promote after Louder Than Life in terms of new music or tours?
We're out with Hatebreed, Amigo the Devil, and Clutch right now. It's a great show. Getting to see Clutch every night has been amazing. Getting to see Hatebreed again every night is amazing. Reliving my youth. And then our buddy Amigo is great. He was right over here a second ago. He's phenomenal. So the whole show is great. So if we're coming to your town, please come out and see it. It's a great time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Tim. Everybody, we are here with Tim of the Dropkick Murphys. New stuff coming very soon. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.